Just ahead on CTV News, a water advisory goes into effect for some county residents. Plus,
Bowie State welcomes students and parents to campus. I'm Katara Jones. I'll tell you how moving day is going coming up on CTV News.
And we join the sheriff for a scoop of ice cream. Those stories and more, CTV News starts now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for August 20th. I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. The 2024 Democratic National Convention kicked off in Chicago yesterday. The theme for night one was For the People. Speakers included Reverend Jesse Jackson, Representatives Jasmine Crockett and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and Hillary Clinton. Just weeks after dropping out of the running, President Joe Biden took to the stage, wiping his eyes and sharing a long embrace with his daughter Ashley, who introduced him.
We're facing an inflection point, one of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole, I mean it literally. We're in a battle for the very soul of America. I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas, and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s.
The convention continues tonight, and you can expect speakers like County Executive Angela Alsobrooks, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, and Barack and Michelle Obama, and former Trump White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham. And we're following a fatal crash involving a dump truck that happened in the county this morning. Maryland State Police and the county's fire EMS department responded to a single vehicle crash at 9:30. It happened on I-95 at Sandy Springs Road. The driver of the truck has died and no other injuries have been reported. The state police crash team is investigating the cause of the crash. WSSC Water is urging customers in the Camp Springs area of the county to limit their water use to essentials as crews work to restore water flow in the Camp Springs water tank. The utility took a line out of service on Monday, which caused an unexpected loss of water flow into the tank. They completed repairs this morning, but WSSC says they still need time to fill the water tank.
Yesterday, we had an issue with one of the planned work that we're having there. We lost water flow to the tank, so that prevented it from filling. If we continue using water at a high rate, that will drain the tank, and it would lose pressure. When the system loses pressure, that increases the risk for contamination. So we want to prevent that, and by having customers conserve water, it's really helping us maintain the tank water level and the pressure in the area. Just use it for the essential, brushing your teeth, cooking, just whatever you need to do, but if you can hold off on any water use, we really appreciate it, they do.
The water advisory affects more than 1,000 residents in Camp Springs. You can type your address into an interactive map to see if you're in the affected area by going to the website on your screen. And if you're a customer in the Camp Springs area experiencing low pressure or no water, you can call the Emergency Services Center at 301-206-4002. And Maryland State Police are investigating an attempted robbery and assault of a flower vendor Sunday afternoon on the exit ramp from I-495 East to Route 650 South. That's where police say a 64-year-old woman was selling flowers along the road when a driver called her over to their SUV. Under the guise of purchasing flowers, the occupants of the vehicle instead grabbed the woman's purse and sped away, dragging the woman before she fell with the purse still attached to her. State police are looking for the SUV, which they say is a darker color with District of Columbia license plates and believed to be occupied by 2 males. Anyone with information about the vehicle or its occupants is asked to call 301-424-2101. And police have identified and arrested a suspect involved in a recent fatal stabbing in District Heights. 45-year-old Nelson Ford of Capitol Heights was taken into custody this morning. The incident took place on August 10th at the 5600 block of Silver Hill Road. Police found 41-year-old Christopher Woodland suffering from a stab wound. He was then taken to the hospital where he later died. Ford is believed to have known Woodland and allegedly stabbed him during an argument. Ford is charged with first and second degree murder and being held on a no bond status. And a man has been sentenced for armed robberies at 2 Maryland phone stores in December 2020. Dante Herring of the district was sentenced yesterday after being convicted by a federal jury on March 1st. Herring and co-conspirators robbed one phone store in Halethorpe on December 17th and another in Owings Mills on December 23rd. They entered the stores as customers, pointed guns at employees, and proceeded to steal money from the safe along with multiple Apple products. Herring is sentenced to 20 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. And Bowie State University, the oldest historically black university in Maryland, is buzzing with excitement as the start of the new school year is quickly approaching. For the second day this week, BSU is welcoming its freshman students to campus. CTV's Katara Jones is outside one of its residence halls with more.
That's right, Mariah. I'm on the campus of Bowie State University, and just behind me is the Alex Haley Resident Hall for freshman students. And greeting those freshman students and their families is President Dr. Amita Bro. CTV News followed Dr. Bro as she welcomed new students and their parents. She also spoke to football players, cheerleaders, and students just walking around campus. Now, this year, Bowie State will have a total of about 6,500 students. That includes undergrad and graduate students. About 1,100 students are incoming freshmen.
I'm feeling elated. It is so wonderful to have them back here on campus. It's been way too quiet. This is the time of year I look forward to see them come in with great excitement, great joy, aspirations, goals, and their families are so happy too.
As a parent, as an alumni, how do you feel about Dr. Bro and her leadership here?
I think it's wonderful. I think that you can actually see change here. It's and another thing is that it's very rare that you come across somebody that leads by example.
I want them to realize they're living in an incredible time of innovation and change, and we want them to embrace change, and indeed they are doing that. Also, I want them to partner with their faculty members. The faculty members are up and running, and I just greeted them, and they're ready to get underway. So I hope that they will see on the campus what I see every day is this warm, nurturing environment that is innovative and here to support them in their learning.
I'm chill, I'm excited, I'm just moving my stuff in, kind of stressed about that, but I'm ready.
Okay, and what will you be majoring?
Child and adolescent studies.
Okay, and what made you decide to pick that major?
Oh, I want to make sure that, I know in our community there's a lot of broken homes, broken families that start from like how we were being parented way back when, and just those generational cycles, they keep coming back, and I want to help break those, and I think it starts with learning how children work and then teaching other parents how to deal with that.
Students who will be living at BSU's off-campus housing will move in tomorrow. Upperclassmen who will be living here on campus will move in Thursday and Friday. Katara Jones, CTV News.
Well, good luck to all those students. Their first day of classes is set for next Monday, August 26th. Such an exciting time as a college freshman. While you're watching CTV News, I'm Mariah Jalad. Still to come, what good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness? The newest Farmer's Almanac is out. Find out what you can expect this upcoming winter.
I surrender.
All right, pal.
Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Can I play with it?
No, absolutely not. It's not a toy. You know that. Anyway, I need it to protect you, your sister and Mom.
But what about the 8 kids who get shot every day by mistake?
Where'd you hear that?
Where do you keep it?
It's hidden.
I bet it's on the top shelf of the closet, under your sweatshirts. Is it loaded? Remember when I found my Christmas gift? You always told me to be curious.
No, that's not what I meant.
And when it's just me and Mom, I could use the gun to protect her.
No, Justin, I promise. I'm always here for you.
But Dad, you're not always here.
Sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal high of about 82 degrees by this afternoon. Clear skies tonight with a low of 70.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
You budget. You pay bills.
Yet somehow, women like you, like me,
are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to save ourselves by setting a goal to save 2% more of our income for our retirement.
Why 2?
1% honors you.
And 1% honors all womankind.
So come on, learn more about the 2% challenge at WeSaySaveIt.org.
The Prince George's County Police Department has welcomed a new victim witness coordinator. She is Miss Nay Archie. In her new role, Archie will assist those affected by crime, including victims, family members, and witnesses, by ensuring they get needed resources. Miss Archie will also serve as the primary point of contact between these individuals and the detectives assigned to their cases. The FDA has approved a new gene therapy treatment for people living with hemophilia B. After clinical trial, patients can now take a one-time infusion of a new Pfizer drug called Becvez. The disease is caused by an insufficient level of the protein factor IX, and now the one-time injection will help to prevent and control internal bleeding in those affected. The Farmer's Almanac is out with its annual 2024-25 winter outlook for our area. According to Almanac editor Sandy Duncan, our area will experience a relatively mild, wet winter, but without a whole lot of snow, with a few exceptions. So what's behind the expected slushy and less snowy winter? Duncan points to La Niña, which cools the waters of the Pacific and delivers a lot of moisture. The Farmer's Almanac is an annual periodical that's been in continuous publication since 1818. And today in Hyattsville, it was a scoop of sweet relief for kids gearing up for the school year. The Prince George's County Sheriff's Office, led by Sheriff Carr, swapped their badges for ice cream scoops, treating kids in Langley Park to a chilly, delicious break. But that's not all. Deputies also distributed free backpacks and school supplies, making sure students are not only cool, but also well prepared for the first day of school.
Spanish community means a lot. They have been growing up in the county, and I feel it's time for the department, as well from the Sheriff's Office and the Police Department, to give back to the community. And today, I mean, we're glad to be part of getting back to the kids since they will be going back to school.
The University of Maryland Law School is leaning into its Cannabis Legal Resource Center to navigate the public health impact of the drug on the state of Maryland. The university believes to understand the impact of legal cannabis use, it must be understood by experts in both cannabis and public health. Research conducted by the CLRC states that all 24 local Maryland health departments believe one of the main concerns is the emergence of legalization amongst youth. Other concerns are the hemp loophole that evades cannabis regulations and laws that have drawn nationwide attention. And still to come on CTV News, our financial expert Ernest Burley is back with another Money Matters segment. Back in a moment.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, amigo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, amigo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Today in our Money Matters segment, we're talking about how to handle a volatile stock market. Whether you're new or experienced in stocks, the market can be unpredictable. And joining us in studio today is our financial expert, Ernest Burley. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Burley.
Thanks for having me back.
So I'm new to the stock market. I know this can be a great money vehicle, investing your savings, but I know it's got some major highs and lows. Just a few weeks ago, there was a major hit to the stock market.
Yes.
How should you handle that? If you've got a bunch of money invested and you see something like that, what should you do?
Yeah, so the first thing you should do is take a look at the 3 questions. We've tackled this in a previous segment. You will find out, make sure it lines up with your current goals for the money, right? What's the purpose for the money? What's your risk tolerance on that money? And what's your time horizon? How long before you need to use that money? So make sure it still lines up properly and then go from there.
So a lot of times when you see a big crash, like, a change like that, your first instinct would just be sell, sell, sell. Let me get rid of this stuff. Is that a good idea?
Right, so we talked about that too. That's a losing strategy. That's a loser strategy. I shouldn't call people losers, but that means you bought high and you sold low. You don't want to do that, so I'm not going to rehash that. But if you sell when the market is low, but you bought high, that means you lost money. It's just a loss on paper until you actually sell, right? Yeah. So I don't recommend doing anything. You want to make sure you're properly diversified. So that's the right thing. Make sure you're properly diversified amongst various asset classes. So your investments are amongst different asset classes and you're not overly concentrated in one particular investment. So you don't want all of your money in one stock or all in real estate or in 2 or 3 stocks. You want to be properly diversified amongst various asset classes.
But if you do decide you want to pull out, sell, take your money out of the stock market, are there any other consequences besides just losing money on your investment?
Yeah, I mean, what some people do is, like, I have some clients, they've accumulated $1 million, $500,000, and they don't want to lose anything. They just want to preserve what they have. So in a case like that, the only way to remove that exposure is to pull your money out of the stock market. You can put it into like an FDIC bank product or a fixed annuity. So that's what you can do to preserve what you have and not worry about the volatility of the stock market, an FDIC bank product or a fixed annuity.
So you just mentioned FDIC. I'm always hearing that. You see that at the banks, insured by FDIC. What does it mean? What is it?
FDIC stands for Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. So that means that particular money is backed by the full strength of the U.S. federal government. Now, fixed annuities are not FDIC insured. They're backed by the financial strength of the insurance company that you placed your money with. So make sure you know the difference in the two. FDIC does not apply to annuities, only to the bank products.
So that's protecting your money at the bank. But, we had some stories last year, some major banks, collapsing. Silicon Valley Bank, for example. Let's say I had $1 million at that bank. Does that mean all of that is safe because they're FDIC protected?
Well, that's a good question. That's a lot of money in there. I'm right. So it's a limit. It's $250 per person. If it's a joint account, there's $500,000 of protection. All right. Okay. So if you have more than $250 in an individual, it's $250 per account, per ownership category, per institution. So you can open up accounts at various banks to make sure you're covered. So if you have $250,000, you take it to 4 different banks if you want a single account, right?
Right,
yeah.
right. But if you did have more than $250,000 in that one account, what happens to the rest of that money in that scenario?
You're covered up to the $250,000, right? It's up to the feds to say whether they want to give you the extra amount, which I doubt, right?
Yeah.
So they let you know up front. That's why they have FDIC and the limit of $250,000. So don't put more than $250,000 in a single account. If it's a joint account, it's $500,000. So if you add someone to the account, I don't recommend just adding a person to your account to get that. Just open an account at a different bank. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that FDIC, it doesn't cover annuities, correct?
Correct.
Does it cover credit unions?
No, it does not. So, but credit unions have something similar to FDIC. They have something called NCUA, which stands for National Credit Union Administration, and it's the same limits, the $250,000 for individual accounts and $500,000 for joint accounts. So it's very similar to FDIC, but it's not the same. Now, any type of mutual funds like non-deposit products like mutual funds, stocks, variable annuities, they are not FDIC insured, nor are they NCUA. That's in the market, so let's be clear on that. Those are investment products, not bank or credit union products.
Okay, so when it comes to the things that you've invested in the stock market, there's really no protections, correct?
Not really, because what you're doing is trying to get some good potential gains, but you don't know what a particular company is going to do. So you're invested in companies, there are all different types of things you can invest in, and you can't predict what it's going to do. But historically, the stock market gives you good potential for making gains over time. So that's where you want to go for the long term for the most part.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ernest, for explaining that to me. Sure. Maybe I'll start betting on the market. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Individuals should contact their own financial professionals and attorneys to help answer questions about specific situations or needs before taking any action based on this information. And still to come on CTV News, Simon Buggs is here with our Tuesday sports page, and he's talking college soccer and Commanders football when we return. Don't.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Okay, sports fans, it's time for your favorite segment, your Tuesday Sports Page. Well, Commanders fans, the wait is finally over as we now know who will be under center come week 1 for the team. It was announced yesterday that head coach Dan Quinn has named quarterback Jaden Daniels the starter for the week 1 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Daniels wasn't sure if he'd be named the starter come week 1, and the former Heisman Trophy winner talked about what he felt when he got the news.
This is joy and happiness to be able, like I said, to live out a dream that I dreamt about. But also, man, it's just I couldn't be here without anybody. Like I couldn't do it on my own. Like family, support system, the organization here, Mr. Harris and all of them for drafting me, and even the people in the quarterback room. I mean, shout out to Marcus for taking me under his wing and being a great mentor. Jeff Driscoll, man, they looking out for me and helping me out a lot.
Daniels and the rest of the team will suit up for their first regular season game on September 8th. Meanwhile, the UMD women's soccer team recently landed a 3-star recruit in the class of 2026. Paige Foy, the daughter of former NBA player Randy Foy, announced yesterday that she will spend her college career in College Park. Foy is a defender for Red Bank Catholic High School in New Jersey. She's the second class of 2026 recruit the Terps have landed behind midfielder Abby Grawl. Moving on to high school football, the Largo High School football squad will be looking to be even better this season after finishing at 5-4 this past year. And one way that can happen is with the strides the players make in their game. CTV Sports caught up with some players in Babatunde Phillips, David Williams, and Tymon Fox, and they told me what they worked on during the offseason.
Getting in better shape. This whole summer just been like in the weight room and conditioning a lot. So just like getting in shape, getting in more shape.
Things I've been working on is my footwork. I've been working on more hand movements and stuff, and being able to stay mentally focused in the game without getting mad over small stuff, and being able to be a better captain for my teammates.
Speed, my weight, I was a little on the healthy side. You know what I'm saying? I had to come down some, but I've been running track, man. My footwork, definitely. I got my footwork 100% better, so I'm coming, man. That's all I'm going to say.
And wrapping up sports, the Washington Nationals will attempt to get their 57th win tonight against the Colorado Rockies. The game begins at 6:45, and the Washington Mystics will take the court against the Seattle Storm tonight. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. And that is your Tuesday Sports Page.
So, Simon, were you surprised that Jaden Daniels was named the starting quarterback? It's just his first season in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, Mariah, I wasn't really surprised. I mean, you're talking about a guy who had a lot of expectation coming in this year with the 2nd overall pick, and being as though he really impressed head coach Dan Quinn as well as others in training camp, and he really played well in the preseason. It didn't come much of a shock to me, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do this year.
All right, thank you, Simon.
No problem.
Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy. Wednesday, it's going to be sunny with a high of 78. Thursday, another beautiful day. We're looking at a high of 81 and low of 58. Friday, that sunshine continues into the weekend. We're going to reach a high of 84. And now for a look at our community calendar, the Bowie Senior Center is hosting an AARP driver safety course. The one-day course is based on the latest driver safety research and insights. This course allows drivers to refresh their knowledge on the latest rules, state laws, and hazards of the road. Participants may also be eligible to receive a discounted rate for their auto insurance. This class takes place this Thursday from 9:45 until 3 p.m. For more information or to register, contact 301-809-2300. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Join us tomorrow for more news that matters to you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
My name is Irene. My job is community school coordinator. My mom taught us that it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can always find a way to help. We started the pantry because the needs were so great. We're very fortunate to have the food bank just a few miles down. I just want our kids to experience what other kids experience and learn to say, what do I want to be when I grow up? And not worry about food.